you can fix that quickly by just changing the words. You don't have to be a brave, courageous superstar taking bullets in the forehead or arrows in the back. You can be a shy nerd and still do well in network marketing by simply saying better words. Now, I'd like to point out to you that the only thing between where you are right now and where you want to be, why, could be just changing a few little words. How exciting would that be? Now, what I'd like to point out, it's not what you are offering that's making the difference, it's how you describe it. So let me show you the difference changing words can make. I'll describe the exact same event and explain it 2 different ways. Let's say I'm on a date with a lady, and to the lady I say, when I look in your eyes, time stands still. Or I could say, your face would stop a clock. Now, I've described the exact same event, but by changing the words, would there be a different result? And here's what happens when you and I get started. We go out and we meet a prospect, and we say, your face would stop the clock. Well, let me find somebody else to ruin. Your face would stop the clock. That's not the problem. We gotta change the words we say. So how many people here would agree that it's the first words we say that can make the biggest difference? People make up their mind pretty quick. How many people here have ever seen a video on YouTube? All right, how many seconds into the video before you made your decision if you want to watch it or not? 5 seconds, something like that, just like that. How many people here have made a decision to go outside and have a meal at a restaurant sometimes before you've even seen the menu? So people make decisions before they actually see what's being offered. Or how many people here ever ordered something off the menu before you had all the information? Were the vegetables organically grown? Did the chicken have a happy life before they killed it? So when you're out there talking to people, guess what? They're going to make up their mind about you just about how quick. Like that. And that yes or no decision happens before you've even gotten into the presentation. And we need to manage that time. Because if they're friendly and want to do business with us, we're in. Let me show you how quick and lethal and deadly that is. How many people here ever received a telephone call from a sale? How many seconds into the phone call before you made your final decision? And you made your final decision before you've even heard the salesman's presentation. Does that sound vaguely familiar? Now here's my question. If you make your final decision to a salesman before you even heard anything, do you think other people would do that to you? What percentage of the time? A little over 100%, right? When you sit down with people, in a few seconds they have made their final decision just like that. And that's how the human mind works. They make the decision before all that information happens. And so when you're talking to people, we have to manage that first part. Let me give you an example. Some people are saying, really? They made up their mind before they heard about all our wonderful things? Yeah, they did. They totally did. Let me just do an example. I'd like to point out that all the information in your presentation is not what determines if they're going to say yes or no. And let me do an example here. How many people here in this room would like to lose a little bit of weight? A few others should raise their hand. Okay, now, just kidding. But let me tell you about us fat people. We got the information. We have CDs and DVDs and books and websites and testimonials and research reports and protein powders and diet pills and accelerators and exercise plans. We got the information. Every fat person in the universe got the information. Ask any fat person in the universe, how do you lose weight? They're going to say two things. Number one, eat less food. And number two is exercise. Every fat person in the universe got the information. So if people made decisions on information, of course that would mean then there'd be no fat people. But are there fat people? Will you see fat people when you leave here today? Yeah, you can see us from hundreds of yards away. Now, the first thing you and I have to do is train our mind that people don't make decisions on information. They're going to make decisions about you. They're going to make a decision if they trust you, if they believe you, if they want to do business with you. And that happens just like that. How many chances do you have to make a good first impression? One. So in the first few seconds, it's over. And if you can manage those first few seconds with some cool words, would that be a lot of fun? And now you'd have people leaning forward instead of leaning back, folding their arms. Now, I don't believe in rejection. I think it's a bad thing. I believe that if everybody loved you, liked you, wanted to do business with you, it'd be a lot better. So once you get over the information problem and learn the first little part, everything's easy. And some of you look at me like it's a hemorrhoid convention. Information? All right, let me prove to you no information's used. Here's proof. Ladies, you know who you are. Ladies, have you ever sometime in your lifetime met a young man, made up your mind about that young man, where that young man might fit in your life, and made that final decision where that young man would fit in your life within the first few seconds? Now, men, is that fair? No, they haven't heard our presentation yet. But it's what happens in real life. So, ladies, if you're sitting next to a man, turn to the man right now, look him in the eye and say, that's how it works. And for those of you that just have problems getting your head around